Hi BSG, happy Friday. Larice Campbell here. I'm so glad we get to gather together today and have some fun. I hope you had a fabulous week.
We thank you and bless you for all you provided, for summer and winter, for spring and for fall, for rain and for sunshine, the gifts of your goodness we sing in adoration and praise you for all.
For our physical warm-up today, I have a physical warm-up that's really easy to do anywhere you want to, as long as you have some space to move around a little bit. I would normally do this outside to show you all of the arms and the legs, but it's raining outside, and so I don't want to take out any camera equipment into the rain and get it wet. So you'll just have to do the leg portion on your own. You'll get to see how the arms work, and it's really, really simple. It's a great physical warm-up just to get yourself moving. If you've been sitting for a while, it doesn't take long to do. So it's just counting down from 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 and shaking out your arms and your legs and your body just to get all of the cobwebs out of them if you've been sort of stagnant for a while. So you'll go 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 with your left arm, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 with your right arm. Then you'll do it with your left leg and your right leg. Then you come back and you do 4, 3, 2, 1, 4, 3, 2, 1. Same thing, left leg, right leg, 3, 2, 1. 3, 2, 1, your left leg and your right leg, 2, 1, 2, 1, left leg, right leg, 1, 1, left leg, right leg. That's all it takes. Just a good way to warm up your whole physical body, but make sure you're really shaking out your arms and your legs. And then the goal is to speed it up. So it's 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, etc. So great physical warm up to do as long as you have space, because you don't want to kick or swing into anything unsafe. So make sure you've got a little bit of room when you're doing that warm up.
Hi Story Guilders, happy Friday afternoon. Guess what this Friday was supposed to have been? Our dress rehearsal. And tomorrow on Saturday we would have had that big 4-hour rehearsal, and Sunday would have been our big performance. And I'm sure you would have told an awesome story, and one day we'll get around to telling it. So don't forget the moves that Elder Akoya taught you. Don't forget the silence. Don't forget your lines, because we are coming back to it. I want to show you the finished helmet that I started last week. Remember, I hadn't finished painting it. But look at that. I've even got the dragon thew on the nose of the helmet. And then I put some turquoise coloring. These are the Turquoise Guard. The people who wear these helmets, we call them the Turquoise Guard, and they're the highest level of soldier in the Empire's army. So when you see someone with a Turquoise Guard coming, you know you're dealing with someone formidable. Maybe in the fall we'll each get a chance to make one of those helmets. But the big excitement for today is you guys. And by that, I mean, remember in the fall when I told you that we want to make the story of Isho, I want to make the story of Isho into a graphic novel? And I had you guys pose so that an illustrator could work off of your character expression and kind of how you embodied the characters and make up our little drawings. Well, those have come in. And my only regret is that Faith and Elijah, you two weren't with us in the fall when we did these. So there's not a picture of you yet, but for sure we'll get one going forward. So let's take a look at the pictures. The first model was Rise as Atticus, and this is how he posed, and this is the drawing that our illustrator came back with, which I thought was pretty fun. It's quite a long cape, and I think Atticus could be a few years older and taller than he's portrayed here. But overall, I thought that was a great likeness. Then there was Wen. Now these I'm showing just in no particular order. This is how they're coming up. So Ben posed as Wen with a net and boots, and this is what our artist came back with. I thought it captured the character of Wen really well. I loved the little pieces of twigs and seaweed hanging out of his hat and over his pail. And then there was Micah, who posed as Pekka, and we can't see it here, but Pekka has, remember, he's a cooner. He hunts coons in the mountains with his dad, and he's got a coon tail down the back of that hat. And so this is how our illustrator imagined Pekka to be. I told her that Pekka loves to whittle stone and work with stone. So I didn't see any sign of the raccoon there, but I thought it was a pretty cute character that Micah put into her imagination. Our next character was Eveline. Eveline posed as the flower wreath-loving Magdala and did a fine job, so that when the illustrator worked with that character, this is what she came up with. Remember how Magdala loves flowers. And then, of course, there was Demas looking, that would be Alex, looking a little bit dour in this picture, but maybe appropriately so. She has a lot to be dour about, not least because her parents never seem to give her the time of day. By that I mean Demas, the character. And so Alex captured that character really, really well with that pose. And Demas is looking pretty bright-eyed here, but I love the high ponytail. What do you think, Alex? Is that a good, does that capture your character well? And the harp, do you see the harp down there? The next one was Selah as our wound-tending Yahya. And I was curious, I don't know if it was the vest or the rip in the jeans or the side cut, but it was quite interesting how the artist came back on this one and portrayed Yahya as quite tough looking, which I liked. I thought she looks too old in this picture. We need to take quite a few years off of her. But I do think Yahya is kind of a little rough and tumble. She's the one that will push into the, like when nobody else wants to deal with a wound or an injury, Yahya is there to help out. And then we had Blessings as Jude. You can hardly see him under that peaked hood, but he's wielding his sword there and providing a great portrayal of Jude, who came back to us looking like this. And I love the relationship of Jude to the sword. I thought that captured well who Jude is. So good job, Blessings. And of course, Blessings' twin sister Ada, who loves the bow. So thanks, Jaya, for your work getting that pose together. That captures your sort of preoccupation with archery. And that came back looking like this. Again, quite a fearsome character, ready to take on Thu and take on the world with your bow and arrow, and kind of the windswept hair and scarf. Thought that looked great. Then, of course, there's young Isho, and Jaden joined our season late and got thrown the role of the older Isho. And this is how Isho comes back to us, and I love that look as well. I think it's very tender. but very inquisitive, huge heart. And see how he's holding the incense, the bowl of incense. Those were the gifts that the Magi brought him and that he took into the desert when he went to pray. We haven't got to that part of the story yet. And then I had 10 characters, and there was 9 of you there. So then I asked her as well to do Madonna. And so I showed her this picture of Abigail as Madonna, and she came back with this image of Madonna the Earth-Mother. Remember, we talked about her having vines growing out of her hair, and big wide feet that were always barefoot to walk the earth. So those are the pictures that came in the mail a few weeks ago, and you guys maybe have seen them. I had them tacked above my desk in my little office here at my house.
As a great journey comes to an end, think of daring to show our radiant friend of creation, reconciles all. We'll go through this journey with hope in our hands. We'll go through this journey with hope in our hands. When we get lonely, we won't be afraid. Even the great through won't scare us at all. Raise up our swords, standing up tall. We'll search for the first light with hope in our hearts. We'll search for the first light with hope in our hearts. And we'll go, hand in hand, my family and friends. We'll go, on this journey with Yeshua, friend. On this journey with Yeshua, friend.
I thought we could really challenge ourselves with our tongue twisters. Since we've been practicing them and we've become like master tongue twister artists, I thought we should really challenge ourselves. So in my research this week, I found out that there is one tongue twister above them all that is considered to be the hardest tongue twister in the world. MIT, which is the Massachusetts Institute of Technology, believes in their research that they have figured out the hardest tongue twister of them all. And I think that BSG can conquer this tongue twister together. So the tongue twister is as follows. Pad kid, poured curd, pulled cold. Seems pretty straightforward when you say it slowly, but we'll break it down again. Pad kid, poured curd, pulled cold. And what they say is when you're saying those words repeatedly over and over again, something about how the words sound, that they get easily mixed up when you speed it up. So I'll repeat it one more time. Pad kid, poured curd, pulled cold. Pad kid, poured curd, pulled cold. Pad kid, poured curd, pulled cold. It's hard even when you slow it down. So this week, my encouragement for you is to try and do that tongue twister and see how fast you can speed it up before the words go all jumbly in your mouth and before you start mixing up those sounds. So one more time. Apparently, the hardest tongue twister in the entire world is pad kid, poured curd, pulled cold. And now I have to practice this week speeding it up because it's even hard for me. So good luck.
So what did you think? I was really impressed by the drawings that came back from the illustrator and thought you guys did a super good job of conveying the sort of the uniqueness of each of the characters in the way you did those poses. So thanks for your work on that. I'll be interested to hear your thoughts and comments when we meet together a week from today. So that's not today, but next Friday for our virtual end of year Burrard Street Story Guild Zoom party. So I hope you can all make that. We'll plan to meet, I'll send out the details, but we'll plan to meet at say around our regular time, maybe 3:45 until maybe 4:45 or 5 o'clock. So it will be a fun time to hear what you think about your character and the way it was drawn and portrayed. And don't forget that those are just thumbnail sketches or kind of drafts. So it means that there's changes that can be made still on those characters. And I definitely have some thoughts along those lines, and we can talk about that next week. But right now, I want us to move on to one of the letters that came last week. We didn't get a chance to share with you. This one's from Elder Materna. So let's listen to what that elder has to say to you guys in this season of lockdown.
Hello, dear Ada, Kesho, Demis, Atticus, Jude, Kaya, Isho, Yahaya, Magdala, Pekka, and Wen. Sending you these thoughts and my love from Elder Materna. A haiku is a very short, simple poem that talks about something really deep and true. Often, a haiku describes something from nature, something that people might see all the time and not really notice or stop and think about. During this time when we all need to stop doing a lot of the things we usually do, like go to school or see friends or go to community centers or stores, a friend of mine has been sending me beautiful haiku in the mail, a different one that I can read and think about each day. I wanted to share one I read this morning with you all. As you listen, imagine what the famous Japanese poet Basho was seeing when he wrote these words. The bee emerging from deep within the peony departs reluctantly. Have you ever stopped and watched a bee collecting pollen from deep inside a beautiful flower? I have. I love bees, and I love that they spend their lives searching for flowers, collecting pollen, and if they are honeybees, making sweet honey from their hard work. This haiku about the bee not wanting to leave the beautiful peony, which is a gorgeous big flower when it blossoms, I have some growing in my garden, makes me imagine being surrounded by beauty and feeling so safe and happy. In the play we are all a part of, there is one character who lives like he is in the middle of a peony flower, no matter where he is. Do you know which character that is? During the last weeks when I have been staying at home, I have been thinking a lot about how our hearts can be big like a peony flower that we always have inside us. A place that we can feel when we stop and close our eyes and put our hand over our own chest. No matter where we are or what we are going through, there is this place inside us that can help us remember that we are not alone and that we are loved. A heart is like a peony flower. When it is open, it gives us a place to come back to feel safe, to rest, and to find beauty and love right inside ourselves. I am sending love to each of you, from my heart to yours. I can feel the peony flower inside me open wide, and I hope that each of you feels a flower deep inside your heart that feels like a safe place to rest.
Dear storytellers, how are you? Are you reading any good stories? In the story we are telling, some of you get to be initiated. In the story we are living, people get initiated too. Sometimes initiation means you have to do something, like learn some practices. Sometimes initiation is not about something you do, but about what happens to you. I'm beginning to think that what we're all going through with the COVID pandemic is part of an initiation. We are all being prepared to live in a different way. How has your life changed in the last few weeks? Are you learning anything new? Does the world look any different now? Wishing you well, Elder McCory.
For our final activity of the week, I was thinking a very fun kind of game we could play as a group would be while you're at home and you have a break, create a list of some of your favorite stories that you guys like to share as family or friends or with your guardians or brothers and sisters. And they could be maybe some Disney movie stories or fairy tales or just stories you guys have liked to share that everyone will know well. So they have to be stories that everyone knows quite well. And then what I would love for you to do is take some time and set up some tableaus and have a bit of a guessing game. So if you remember what tableaus are, and I know you do, they are frozen pictures. So you're setting up the whole picture, and that includes both your emotions in the picture, the physicality, so what you're physically doing, and you could even get as creative as adding costumes or adding little prop pieces if you want, but you're just making a frozen picture. And then I would encourage you to do them for your family or your friends who's with you right now, so that they can guess. Maybe you can tell them it's coming from one specific story. So maybe you say it's coming from Cinderella, and they guess the different moments in it, and you do a couple tableaus from that. Or maybe they just guess the story itself. So maybe you do a variety of tableaus from a couple different stories, and they have to try and guess what the story is that you're coming from so that they can see the full frozen picture. And we will do one here, and we'll leave our frozen picture at the end so that you get a visual. See if you can guess the story that we've created here in my family. Enjoy this week, and I look forward to seeing you guys again soon.
As we go and we see God around us, may we see God's story everywhere. Till we meet again, may it be in our hearts as we go. Let this be our prayer. 3, 2, 1, volcano!